What's up guys, Moku here, and then I'm back with another video. First time ever deck profile for myself. Today I'm here with Mr. Top 5 himself, Primosso. He got 5th place at the Pomona Regional with yours truly, GT. Fucking tank deck at the moment. I'm gonna just let him go through his match spreads and ratios, things of that nature. Kind of see how he played around his worst matchups, his 50-50 matchups and his free matchup, Blue Gogeta. So, yeah.
All right. Bro. Yeah. Hey guys. So we're gonna start off with the round by round basis here. Round 1, I got the Bison matchup. I won that one. Round 2, Blue Vegito, I got that one. I played the Rogue Black Cell deck. A little bit tough matchup, but I was able to get him with the Ultimate Secret. SS3, I lost. That was my first loss of the round, so I was 3-0 to that point. Bricked in that matchup, couldn't defend myself, so I ended up losing that one. Then I got 2 Blue Vegetos back to back. Ended up taking those. I figured out how to beat against Blue Vegito. It's not that bad. I got the mirror, and that one I won the roll. I was able to go first, and you know how that goes. The first established Vegeta here ends up winning that matchup most of the time. And then against the BR matchup, didn't really go too wide against me. Just try to go tall. Eventually, I drew into Triple Secret and played them back to back to back, and eventually ended up grinding out that one. Yeah. So right here, we're gonna do the deck profile here, card by card. These are gonna be our cantrips right here. I put it 2 more Videls. Normally you'll just see a cantrip and the GT deck, but I decided to go with more Videls for decks that ended up going wider against me, so that I can set up cantrips that replace myself, don't lose my hand, and I can just combo them off if I need to defend against aggro. Then we got the Trunks here, really good to help you self-awaken, help you even get the ultimate off, even get the Vegeta bigger in like a mirror match and a black mirror match, just to be able to get it high enough so it's at a range for the fight, the Big Bang fight. So and then we're gonna go to right here, the Pan, one of the most important cards here. It makes key, makes a marker. It's pretty much your whole turn 2 play. You need to seize on turn 2. If not, your deck slows down a lot. And then we're gonna go Gohan here. Gohan, last format, a lot of people were cutting them down, to like 1, 2 to 3 copies, but I think, in my personal opinion, you need to see curve. This is the strongest curve probably in the game. Going to Pan into Gohan and potentially Vegeta to be able to kill the higher end stuff. And on top of that, if you wanna, I just like Gohan so much because it helps you awaken. You don't get stalled out if you don't see multiple Pans to awaken. And on top of that, you end up drawing a card at the end phase. So even if you want to stall your opponent out and not swing with leader, you don't swing at all and you just keep your hand up, you don't go that neg. Then we'll go to the Vegeta chain, probably the best chain, honestly. The 3 cost Vegeta into 4 cost after the ultimate, after you do the second turn, it's the best thing you can do to go for game because it just enables you to push lethal. This Vegeta GT is the best card in the deck by far. This is your win con, the secret of course, but this Vegeta is the best card. Big beater, energy marker enabler. It's the one that lets you go against these fusion decks that like to go tall on bodies, lets you go with the Big Bang, go 1 for 1. Super important, very good card. And against the decks that go wide, when I set up the cantrips to combo up to defend myself, I'll just slap one of these guys against decks that go wide, nuke the whole board, have them start from scratch, and then on top of that, get a big old attack off. So very important against aggro matchups. And then of course, pretty much the win con of the deck. It's Gogeta, draw 2, get markers, freaking 40k beast deck. The ultimate is just on this is so powerful that you start drawing cards like crazy. Even if you lose all your energy and you still somehow don't end up winning, you'll have a bunch of cards in hand to defend yourself next turn, and then next turn you can just probably crack another Vegeta chain and you'll probably take it from there. You'll get them down to 1. Super combos, of course, all reliables. You have to. I see a lot of people not running the Para Brothers, but I decided to go 2 for the Bison matchup, or for matchups that like to go wide, stun something and even like put a 10k combo on the board to out combo like 2 attacks essentially. It's just all around all good cards, especially because you can enable them. You can play around with the energy marker in this deck so easy. You can just enable this whenever you want and play defense with it, which is really good. And then of course the staples here, the Big Bang, of course, it's your primary removal of the deck besides beating over stuff. And then you have Pinnacle here, free 10K, when it's not to level, free 10K, and on top of that you can also blanket a battle card skill 4 or less. Very important in the sub matchups. If people don't play around it, you can halter their plays and essentially set them back a whole turn. And then another very important card, since you play around with the marker so much, you can stop multiple attacks with Ultimate Sparking and Para Brothers. Essentially stop 3 attacks in a way, you know. Ultimate Sparking, out combo, you stun something else, Para Brothers, stun something, out combo something else. It's just super important. I was debating on playing 3 this format because of how Beast Hunt was prevalent, but at Regionals I found myself seeing it when I needed it in the matchup, so 2 ended up working too much because sometimes when I tried the 3rd copy, I ended up drawing too many and it ended up being a little clunky. So yeah.
How would you say that your Beast Hunt matchup is with this deck?
Beast Hunt matchup, you have to have Sparking and you have to draw into your Para Brothers. When they slap the first Beast Hunt down, you also have to be very tanky against Beast Hunt. You want to combo out the early hits that you can and take the 30, the 40s, you know, out combo the 20, 25s. Yeah. And then when they slap that Beast Hunt down, leave the marker up. Even if you leave the energy marker up and bluff it, they still have to play around it. You know, they have to respect like it's there. You know, so the first Beast Hunt is never gonna kill you all the time since you're at high life. Yeah. But the second one is the one that might get you. You know. Okay. But as long as you see as long as you see a combination of 2, either 1 of this and 1 of this, or 2 and 2, it doesn't matter. You can stall the matchup long enough for you to ultimate the secret and get it on it in the long run. Yep.
And then for like you said, your round 2, it was Blue Gogeta. That matchup is just free, right?
You have to play it to an extent in a way. Yeah. But yeah, since they call him the gatekeeper for a reason, right? Because you can pretty much stall. Like I said, that's why this Gohan's so important. Yeah. So you don't have to. Yeah, you don't generate a lot of keys because you're not attacking with the leader, but this Gohan is gonna have enough keys when you do the Awaken that if they don't deal with this, you're just drawing cards off for this and you don't have to swing at their leader at all. You just gain value off the Gohan. That's why it's so important.
Because they're just not putting enough pressure at face, right?
Not putting enough pressure, yeah. Okay. And when they try to go the aggro route, you just start swinging at their bodies and make them waste their hands to try to defend it. Okay, you know? Don't even swing at their life. All right.
And you said round 3 was Black Cell, right?
The Black Cell was the tricky one because it can be pretty aggro. I've seen that deck be able to play the new 6 cost SR that can be KO'd by skills. Okay, right. I've seen them be able to drop 2 on turn 3 if they have the right combination of cards in hand. And that card alone, I just can't deal with it. I'll swing at it. Yeah. I'll try to beat over it, but you know that's literally after the following turn because it just can't be KO'd in general. Okay. But in the end, I was able to scrap enough resources after I ultimated my SCR to come out with the win on top. So,
was there ever a moment where this card came in clutch for the cell matchup?
In the cell matchup, it did. I tried to draw into it after he played a bunch of 1-drops and try to tank up that way. Yeah. But I just didn't see it in time. And when then I was already swinging high enough for him to out combo, you know. Okay. Because the cell deck didn't draw. It cycles a lot. It draws a good amount, but if it doesn't see his pieces, it's not drawing a lot because it's wasting resources and it's not gaining enough value back. Right. Okay. So yeah.
So you just had to basically play around, not seeing the out for that situation.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. They didn't see the out when I needed it. When he had an established board, it would have been really nice to slap it down, KO all his little 1 cost, and big attack coming in. Okay. You know, definitely makes the matchup easier. Yeah.
And you said for your round 4 was SS3, right? So how did that one go? Like,
and SS3 against SS3, you really want to go first, in my opinion. Yeah. Because you can get to a hard 6 and ultimate this guy a turn faster before your opponent can get the 6, right? And I found myself out that your SS3 player will most of the time will always go to 2 life because you're putting so much pressure with a 30, you know, 45 eventually, and even this guy when you slap on it and they try to go wide against you, he'll be at 50, 60K and they'll just take this guy automatically. They won't even try to out combo. Yeah. So I found myself in that matchup when they're at 2 and I can go first and I can chain 2 of these secrets back to back because they're always going to deal with the first one. Right. First one's not going to kill it, but the second one, and when I play the second one and I hold the Vegeta chain on top of that, normally the time that's normally been enough to be able to win the matchup against SS3. So.
And like at that point in that match, what do you think that like was the turn or the moment where you felt you lost like tempo, control of the match?
Well, I had a good start with the Pan 2-drop going second. I was able to play it down, but then they rested, of course. Right. Then I saw this, but the problem was that I had to you know, essentially tap out for this, you
Right,
know,
right.
just to kind of. And I was hoping to draw this Goku back to be able to try and clear his board, but
Right.
didn't see it when I needed it. Saw it turn too late. I did see Vegeta, but
Yeah.
no Goku to be able to clear the board, so I had to pressure board instead at that point,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then when he was pushing for game, I just drew too many zeros off the
Right.
life, so I
Right.
couldn't. How am I gonna defend myself if I have no cards?
So
to
it was
defend
one of those
myself?
moments where like basically you couldn't clear his board from going wide, so you couldn't basically punish him and
No,
make him take
not
the
really.
life.
No,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then for round 5, it was another blue Vegeta, right? It was two back to back.
I had two back to back after
Yeah.
my fourth round loss.
Right.
Like I said, we explained that matchup.
Yeah.
I got it down. I played a certain way, and it's worked for me. So I didn't change it up at those stages when
Right.
I was facing against it, and ended up working out for me as well. you
Nice,
know,
nice.
so.
And then for your round 7, it was the mirror, right?
Yeah, in round 7 it was the mirror, but luckily I was able to win that roll, which is funny too, because the whole day I always lost all the dice roll, but it was literally the only. My last 2 rounds were the 2 dice rolls that
Yeah.
were important, and
Right.
I ended up winning them, which
Okay, so you won the one that matters.
the
Basically.
ones that mattered essentially,
Right,
yeah. And in that matchup, I saw everything. I saw cantrip into a pan, into Gohan, and he had to deal. And he was behind, so he had to play his Vegeta to deal with my Gohan, because I
Right.
would start outvaluing him with the Gohan. And on my previous turn, I just slapped my own Vegeta with the Trunks to make it big enough to be able to kill his Vegeta, and he just lost tempo from there.
Right.
Then the following turn, I was able to like drop a secret with this guy on board, and yeah, it just took the game on from there. Yeah.
Cool. And then for like the last round, it was, you said BR, right?
Yes, Gogeta
So
BR.
how did that matchup go for you?
Against the BR matchup, I like to tank the hits early.
Yeah.
They can go pretty wide / tall against you, because they go 20 into potentially 25, but also clearing your board at the same time. Against that matchup, I was just able to see the important pieces.
Yeah.
I ended up drawing, so I saw 2 Vegetas back to back, because these guys are always, any 4 cost you play against the BR matchup is going to end up dying.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is get as much value as you can, which
Right.
is not losing tempo and generating the marker, so you're not behind a turn.
Right.
Either go for board, which is the best thing you could probably do, and make them waste resources out of the hand to protect the 5 cost promo. And either chip away at that. Your leader can also swing 30K. You have a 45K swing. A lot of opponents will just let it go, because over time, and this is going to lose hand too quick, because you're hitting them hard. You know what I mean? And I was able to see big bangs on top of that, so I can essentially go like a 2-for-1 swing at one of their 5 costs, and then they let it go, and then I just go big bang and kill the other one, clear board, clear state. You know.
I remember you telling me that sometimes you would just swing at their body and then they wouldn't even protect off first swing. Do you feel like if they would have protected, like basically sacrifice cards and made you basically have the big bang, you think that puts you in an awkward spot? Or would that put you in an awkward spot?
Against the BR matchup, in my opinion, I think that they should be protecting the bodies on the board.
Yeah.
Because it means that I have to work even harder to try and get rid of it, because I would only get rid of one.
Yeah.
And if you defend like any other attacks going at it, that means you have at least some sort of pressure and going into your turn. You know what I mean? An extra attacker too is very important in the matchup, because, like I said, I run a lot of zeros, a lot of dead cards in the matchup too that I could end up drawing. So if you catch me at a wrong time where I'm trying to kill your bodies and you protect them, and I can't defend myself on the crackback just because I need to gain as much tempo as I can or catch up to the secret rare, you can do some damage. Yeah.
And like you were talking about earlier before, like the video started, like sometimes I'm assuming like a big thing that hurts you is from the opponent forcing you to use this after with marker, so making you play this on 4 with marker, and instead of playing the Vegeta, it basically sets you back a turn, obviously, because you pop marker. But like, for example, for the people who don't know, like that type of like sequencing where you're making your opponent do bad plays, like from a scale from 1 to 10, how bad like does it feel to play out this to clear a board rather than play to your weight conditioning curve to playing this and making the marker again? Like, so how would you say it's bad if they're making you play this on turn 4 with marker? I'm sorry, turn 4, 3+ marker. Like how bad does it feel doing that?
Don't get me wrong, this is still good to clear the board.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that a lot of these decks, since they're like fusion decks or evolved decks, they just can reestablish the board if they have the right pieces.
Right.
So if it's all good because I can clear them, right? But then when it goes back to them, they have the same pieces again. They're going 20-20 against the Gogeta matchup.
Right.
Then they go into a fusion, then they minus it, and they kill it. And if I crack marker for this, I just feel so bad. It feels like I'm way behind.
Right.
Where instead, if I play the Vegeta and go essentially big bang and kill their body, and I can pressure their life or another battle card on there, at least I'm still in curve, so I can slap my secret down
Right.
to redraw my hand back after tanking up and defending the early hits. Because if I play Goku and I'm behind a turn, that means I'm not going to be able to play Gogeta in the previous next turns, so previous following turns. Because if I go into this, then I have to set up a marker again, and then Gogeta.
Makes sense.
I don't like it.
Because sometimes you have to, I'm assuming the opponent has to force you or hand check you, right, for the big bang to have it. Because if you don't have the out, then they just give a free body, right?
And that's why I would say don't let your bodies go that easy. Because if you do, then it makes it easier for your opponent if they, or even better for your opponent because they can hold on to the big bangs
for a better target,
better targets later on.
Makes sense. Because you always don't see it, even though this kind of helps you draw, off the deck that doesn't really draw as much. You always don't see what you need to see, right? Yeah. So then, like you said, like you basically at end game, even when you're drawing 2 off of this, you're basically running into a lot of zeros, right? Because you don't draw as much early game, right?
There's a few games where I was barely able to get it because I would end up drawing after I've ultimated, and they're drawing a 0 here, they got zeros here. And I even draw ultimate sparkings after like.
Because you said it was the BR matchup, right? That you said that you went for game and you only got like what 50K. And
that BR matchup, I went. It was my Vegeta was at 45. I only had 2 5Ks and I had 3. I think I had a combination of 2 big bangs and then an ultimate sparking.
Right.
So I couldn't go that high, but I had 2 more 5Ks. I had a Goku, I believe, and a cantrip. So I just went for it because I had already taken my life with Trunks to go for game at that point. And I just got to 55, that's all I had. My opponent had 3 cards in hand and he could only match me 55 and then ended up taking that one barely.
Cool. Nice. Well, yeah, if you heard from him, Mr. 5th place himself, this guy hardly ever plays Future World. He's mainly a sweat in Masters, but he decided to play because I convinced him to play on Sunday.
Why not? We're there already, so
yeah, basically, So he just said, fuck it, why not? And he chose the right deck. It's a tank deck for the format. We're not really, the only really aggro deck he has to watch out for is SS3, but even then, like how you have to see your pieces, with this deck, you have to see a piece of SS3 and you get caught up with a bunch of bricks. Ask me how I know, because I play the deck, and it could be very unfortunate. So this is his deck list for, the only Gogeta GT to get top 8 this past Sunday at the Future World in Pomona. Bro, you have any shout outs you want to give out?
Well, first shout out to the Graveyard, the best shop for Masters. They still got to pick it up on Fusion, but I mean, we'll see if they even try to, Shout out to Moku here for, helping me out, giving me tips throughout the day, since I don't really play Fusion World. I'm not an avid Fusion World player, I'm more of a Masters player, but, I was asking for Paul for tips, against certain matchups, and, he's the one that plays the game, so it ended up working out for me, following his tips, so, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if you guys want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comment below. And yeah, guys, until next time. And also, before I go, this is my scumbag skin right here. Yes, I said scumbag. Not scumbag, scumbag. Sure. Once again, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this 5th place regional deck profile and want to see more Future World content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on the next upload. And with that being said, if you guys want to see another deck profile soon, I do have a top 16 deck profile in mind with myself. I did end up topping with SS3, so if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments down below. But again, until the next time, keep testing, keep improving, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.